Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Film Trendy. In March 2020, Netflix debuted what might be its most shocking and binge-worthy true crime series to date. Tiger King tells the story of the rise and fall of Joseph Streifvogel, aka the much more easily pronounceable Joe Exotic, the charismatic proprietor of an exotic animal park in Oklahoma. But Exotic was more than just a zookeeper and a manager. He had a knack for self-promotion, positioning himself as just as much of an attraction as the close encounters with lions and tigers offered by his park. However, despite having 7 episodes to work with, filmmakers couldn't fit the entire story into Tiger King. Here are some pertinent details that didn't make it into the series, which forces us to think that Tiger King is completely fake. So let's jump right into it. Number 1. Joe Exotic's Animal Magic Act was less than magical. Joe Exotic engaged in more animal-related shenanigans and cheesy stabs at showmanship than a 7-part documentary could show. As touched on in Tiger King, Exotic performed as a magician with an act involving animals under the stage names Aaron Alex and Cody Ryan. His assistant, Aaron Stone, was a guest on the podcast Joe Exotic Tiger King and detailed some finer points and deeply unflattering moments from Exotic's magician stint. A big trick involved making a tiger magically appear on stage in a previously empty cage. A noisy explosion and pyrotechnics provided the necessary misdirect, but those things also frightened the big cat, who would show up in the cage near the back, cringing in fear. Since seeing a tiger in distress could make an audience feel uneasy and make Exotic look bad, the magician decided to get rid of the tiger and bring in a sheep, which he'd spray painted black and orange to resemble a tiger. Not only did audiences immediately recognize the painted sheep for what it was, but it was just as scared of the pyro. Stone had to go into the cage and hug the frightened creature for the length of the trick. Number 2. Joe Exotic didn't really sing those songs. As shown in Tiger King, Joe Exotic tried to be a lot of things. He was a zoo-running businessman, an animal handler, and perhaps most inexplicably, a country music singer who wrote and performed songs very much about his own life as a tiger lover. Take for example his tune, I Saw a Tiger. Those songs, loaded onto CDs sold in his park's gift shop, were so very personal, and yet Exotic had little to do with the enterprise, apart from the marketing. According to Tiger King co-star and Exotic's arch-nemesis, Carole Baskin, those aren't the Tiger King's golden pipes. Joe Exotic only lip-synced to songs written and recorded by Vince Johnson and Danny Clinton. Baskin said on the Big Cat Rescue blog via Newsweek, adding that she has emails from Johnson and Clinton, the real musicians behind those tunes, to prove it. Number 3. Rick Kirkham's stuff was lost in a fire. While viewers get a large overview of most every person involved in Tiger King, they don't learn all that much about Rick Kirkham. It's shown that he's a former Gonzo reporter for the tabloid TV show Inside Edition who went to work as the producer of Joe Exotic's daily internet talk show.
He was very scared of the tigers, very afraid. The ones he'd get in the cages with were either blind or they were sedated. It was all just a facade. It was a big facade. Behind that chair was the actual trainer. Those weren't his tigers. Those were someone else's tigers that they could control. And he was behind there with a gun because Joe was terrified to get in cages with tigers.
Viewers are left with the impression that Kirkham largely stayed out of the personally and legally devastating events that everyone else in Tiger King engaged in, not counting how an unknown actor, heavily implied to be Exotic, burned Kirkham's studio, destroying hundreds of hours of possibly incriminating footage in the process.
It would have been more violent and probably exposed a lot more things than what you saw in the documentary series of Tiger King. If I were to let the video out that I have shot of you killing animals on this park, you tricking people by taking in their animals, you'd probably go to jail. He changed the locks on the studio so I couldn't get in, and the next thing you know, the studio burned. So the FBI has a pretty good idea who did it.
What's not shown in Tiger King is that Kirkham was the victim of a second mysterious arson not long after he left the Joe Exotic compound. Kirkham moved a couple of hours away to Dallas and settled into an apartment, which caught fire when he was still in it. Kirkham was safely removed by firefighters, but his dog died in the blaze. Police never made an arrest for either fire. Number 4. Tiger King's choices emphasize its true aim. Critics have pointed out some of the biggest issues with Tiger King. It masks the way the tigers themselves are being treated. It turns Joe Exotic's moral repulsiveness into a series of weird character quirks. It chooses the wrong villain in Carole Baskin. It repeatedly misgenders one of its interviewees, Saf Safari, a trans man and possibly the only truly admirable person in the series. I can think of some others. The 3rd episode is spent building the case that Baskin killed her late husband, but we never find out why that's relevant to the larger story. Does it mean Joe is more in the right for trying to have her murdered? A great deal of another episode focuses on how both Joe and Doc Antle have kept their tiger empires humming along with underpaid and exploited labor, mostly from either convicted felons who can't get work anywhere else, in Joe's case, or beautiful young women kept in a kind of harem/cult in Antle's case. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video. 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 I'll see you in the next video.